Patriot Pals. Thank you for coming to the Mel K Show again. I'm Mel, live in Manhattan. It is January 4th, 2020. I'm here with my partner, Rob Reilly. How are you, Rob?
I'm great, Mel. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I made a mistake on our board. It's 2021.
Oh my God, it's 2021. Oh no.
Happy New
Ew.
Year.
Yes.
So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for our little trip to Washington, D.C., though it looks like Muriel Bowser and the AG or whoever, DA of Washington, D.C., are going to make it as hard as possible. They're saying that they're scared of the Trump supporters because of violence. Of course, the election was stolen on November 3rd, and I've seen no violence nor cities being burnt down or any like thing like that. So I think she is as confused with a different crowd, but I'm very excited to meet a lot of our Patriot pals there in person and looking forward to that. Anything new in New York?
Uh, New York, as usual, continues to be a rundown, dilapidated shadow of itself.
Right.
We ended the year with shootings up 97%. Over the weekend, there was just a horrific attack by some guy with a baseball bat. He attacked 10 people, started in the subway. And the subways have become a lot less safe. There have been
Crazy.
a lot of those attacks in the subway. There was a guy this morning who threw himself in front of the subway. It sounded like a suicide.
Tons of suicides in
There's
New York,
been,
as expected.
we see it every morning. And the biggest thing that was I saw this morning, Janice Dean, who, I don't know if people know, but, Cuomo put 6,000 people into the nursing homes. And Janice Dean, who's a news reporter, weather reporter on Fox and Friends, her parents-in-law
Both of them, yeah.
were died in a nursing home, and she's been trying to really get that information out. If people don't know that Cuomo, when this COVID thing started, he put through some sort of an executive order that pushed patients into the nursing homes, and there was a lot of pushback.
Despite their knowing, anyone that has elderly grandparents or parents knows like pneumonia or anything, a respiratory illness for somebody that's already infirmed or in a nursing home that's not in great health is as dangerous as they come. There's a lot there to look at, and he's not handing over the data. But on top of that, we're not talking about putting elderly in there. We're talking about putting COVID patients, period, when he had the Javits Center and the ship the comfort here. So there's a lot to be said there. He also, that's one of his biggest donors, is the owner of those elderly facilities and those communities. So, there's a lot that is unanswered in that whole scenario. But Janice Dean's trying. I mean, as Hollywood gives him awards.
Yeah, no, it's disgusting. There's a lot of people that came to his we're praising him,
For
all of
his
these.
Oscar, his Emmy Award.
Right. Yeah. And it's really, a lot of people are going to be very, very shocked and disappointed when we're going to talk about some of Lynn Wood's tweets in a little later. But people are going to be really shocked to see some of the people that are involved in some pretty nefarious stuff. So we'll see how that plays out. But this is really a big week. This is this is a lot of election news. Uh, there's we listened to that Georgia call
Yep.
yesterday.
Yep.
And I don't know if people have seen, most people I probably have seen some of the snippets that the Washington Post put out, but we listened to the whole call. And to me, it was pretty obvious what that call was about.
Well, first of all, we know two things. The Washington Post has taken a lot of money from the CCP, who's clearly running the Democratic Party. And number two, they put out 4 minutes of the call, then lied and said that they put out the whole call, just like Ukraine. Trump's own people actually put out the whole call uncut. And all Trump was saying was he wanted transparency. The cover of the New York Times, the cover of the Post, all of the news networks are totally lying. Again, you have to be willfully ignorant or blind with hate for a man that's trying everything to save our country from the globalists to not see what's going on. But in that call, he was asking for transparency. The way they spun it was that he was asking for them to find votes for him. That's not true. He has plenty of evidence. He even said in the call that he knows that woman, Ruby, who's apparently related to the guy running it over there, that he already knew that 18,000 votes were put through 3 times. And what I got from the call was he was trying to get Raffensperger and his partner Fuchs over there to fess up, or to at least stop denying the truth or stop lying. And he was trying to, but they wouldn't. And the way that the media twisted it is so disgusting, because it's not what he was saying at all. What he was saying was he knows that there's been theft. He knows that things, ballots were shredded. He knows there wasn't signature verification. He wanted one county. They wouldn't give it to him. They gave him another county. He was trying to tell them, listen, we got you. In my opinion, he was trying
Yeah,
to tell
I mean,
them, we got you.
it was
Just
very,
admit it and we can fix it. If we don't fix it now, there's going to be big repercussions. And he also told them he's going after Dominion no matter what, because their crimes are huge and they're international. But he was, I thought, giving them a chance to be honest. I mean, we all saw the cheating. That guy Raffensperger even denied that. And then the woman that kept interrupting, that was awful. She kept saying, well, that we saw the whole tape. No, the whole country saw the whole tape of them pulling suitcases out underneath the desks with nobody else there. They just were such liars. And the way that the media spun it and is continuing to all day, is unbelievable. I've just had it. I can't wait till we get to the next phase and the media starts paying for all of this, because their crimes are as bad as anyone else.
yeah, he kept saying, come on, Brad, everyone sees this. Are you still going to go on with this story? And so evidently Brad is continuing with the story.
Well, there's a lot of evidence that guy's compromised, as is Kemp. And the worst part is they leaked that was supposed to be a private phone call.
Yeah, with their lawyers.
Right. That's why Trump brought up the lawyer. You see, in retrospect, they probably couldn't believe that the lawyer was letting them, that the lawyer was on the phone and letting them continue to lie. But not just that, it was a settlement conference, which is confidential. And then apparently this guy Fuchs or Raffensperger or both leaked this call. And then the very shady Bezos-owned CCP financed Washington Post put out 4 minutes and totally cut it down, just like it's the same thing they did with the Ukraine call. And once we saw the whole Ukraine call, we knew that it was not what it seemed, just like this. The media is going to go on with this for as long as they can, and calling, now they can impeach him.
All right, so what do we got? He was given a chance. They revealed themselves, the great reveal, the great awakening. And what happens? So today or yesterday, Trump filed 2 lawsuits against these guys,
right,
for leaking a litigation
classified
call.
Information,
right?
Classified information to the Washington Post. Yes,
right. And evidently, Project Veritas, one of the other hardest working guys in the swamp exposure, has been in Georgia for a few months with his team, and he said he's got stuff coming out tomorrow.
Right. Well, it came out today. So Warnock, who has openly admitted that he's a total anti-Semite. He hates white people. He thinks the country has to seek forgiveness for its honor of whiteness. He's caught on to, he wants to defund the police and replace them with citizen soldiers, which means like Black Panthers, Antifa, Black Lives Matter types. And he beat his wife. He drove over her foot. He's had allegations of covering up child abuse, child sex abuse at some camp. He is a total socialist. He hates Israel. He loves Farrakhan. His hero is Reverend Wright, who is from that same church as Obama, that thinks America deserved 9/11. And here we have all of Hollywood coming out again, like they are for Cuomo, cheering these guys on. Hollywood has put tons of money into this race in Georgia against Perdue and Loeffler. And the 2 people warning, Warnock is a complete and total racist, anti-Semite, Farrakhan, Muslim Brotherhood lover. And then the other guy, Ossoff, he has lots of ties to the CCP and even did a documentary about China and the positives of the CCP. And both of them, as we know from what we learned about Kemp, Georgia is a big import-export partner of the communist China. So, I don't know what's going to happen in Georgia, but Warnock and this Ossoff guy, first of all, if the Georgia election is so tainted, why wouldn't those races be tainted too? So they're having a runoff election, which may or may not come to fruition. But the bottom line is, if the main election was so tainted as we've seen, and there were so many fake ballots and everything, I don't understand why we're even here in Georgia, but we are. So
I
yeah,
think
it
this is
looks
also
like
a sting,
yeah,
you
but it
know?
looks like that Warnock, I mean, they've found so much bad about this man, terrible stuff. But just like when Ellison and still became the AG after his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend came out with several awful domestic violence accusations and arrests and stuff, and nobody on the left cared then, and they don't care now. It's Me Too if it works for their side. Otherwise, you can have Amy Schumer and the entire radical Hollywood leftists out there, Alyssa Milano and them, cheering on these men with these nefarious pasts as heroes. The New York Times called Warnock a guy with moral high ground. Look at anything he said. He hates white people, like for real. He says it. So if that's what Georgia wants, that's what Georgia gets. But
Well, we know China loves Georgia. Evidently, Patrick Byrne said that they received, pallets and pallets of ballots. He's
right,
got the receipts. He has the
right.
shipping, and you had talked about that way back
Yeah, I
when.
put it out there on Dr. Charlie Ward and Ann Vandersteel 2 months ago that SF shipping, that they found containers in Detroit during the when they were sending out the absentee ballots. That made no sense because that SF shipping company and some other Chinese shipping companies have no route to America, so they had to have come in some other way.
We also had that really that incredible speaker Pulitzer. His team was shot at. He's one of the guys who was
well, he created
the QR code.
right,
That
so
guy.
he created the thing that makes the ballots legit.
Right. So his team was shot at. We got I guess Pence said that he would support the challenge to the electors.
Wait,
So
wait, 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 wait. I want to stay for 1 minute in Georgia. Something happened, I think, is clearly again. I think Facebook and Twitter and Google, they should be in big trouble for election interference. Turns out 2 days ago, Facebook pulled down a GOP fundraising page for the Georgia runoffs that had 1.4 million followers. So that's a pretty big chunk. And Facebook pulled it down out of nowhere. It was basically for Senators Loeffler and David Perdue. And it was the National Republican Senatorial Committee that runs the Georgia Battleground Fund. And they pulled their Facebook page 2 days before the runoff. So again, Facebook stepping in and messing with an election, taking people down, hiding information, censoring conservatives in a bid to win back, I guess, the Senate. I hope people understand that these two seats will make the Senate lean one way or the other. If both seats go to the Democrats, our country is screwed because then they'll run both the Senate and the Congress.
now,
Even though I believe
right.
all of this is going to blow up in everyone's faces and we're not even seeing reality yet. But in the meantime, Facebook interjected itself in the Georgia race, just like Hollywood is. And here we go.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to see that the National Guard seems to be staffing up in Georgia.
Yeah, that
Ob-
was at the Atlanta airport. They said that there was about 500 soldiers that went through that airport last night and flew to different locations, which is good news because it looks like we're going to need that. Yeah, and then in other election news, Data Integrity Group, who's a bunch of U.S. Navy and military and former NSA and other national counterterrorism experts, they started auditing the votes in Pennsylvania, and they found 432,000 votes removed from Trump in Pennsylvania. And I mean, literally removed, discarded, or changed. This happened on election day and after election day. On election day, 15 counties, Lehigh, Chester, Allegheny, Armstrong, Westmoreland, Delaware, Montgomery, Pike County, Washington County, Erie County, a lot of counties that you would think Trump would win in, because these are a lot of the steel and manufacturing and oil and all that natural resources that Pennsylvania has, especially mining and coal. They apparently they're saying that their ballots were removed, not just that they were removed, but that they were destroyed. And then after the counting, they say that Allegheny, Chester County, and Lehigh County continued to destroy any Trump ballots that came in by mail. And basically, they did it by how the counts were moving, and then how at one point everything kept going up except for Trump. So, and it was impossible. So anyway, they've traced it back, and they found they believe 432,000 fraudulent or votes that were deleted or discarded for Trump. So
Yeah. I also saw that the Maricopa County treasurer resigned, and he joined the recall effort. So maybe people are starting to feel the heat and see the truth and step up and try to right this wrong in the best way that they can. I mean, that's what we're hoping most people are doing.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, one person that's certainly doing that is Lynn Wood. I mean, he's out there, unbelievably loud and proud with some
Well, I
pretty.
mean, it's not really that. It's, like a lot of us, he knows about the child sex trafficking, blackmail, and multi-billion-dollar international business of selling children, selling humans and women and organs that goes straight from the CCP in China to the port of Long Beach and back and all through the Caribbean, and that there are very high people involved, and that the truth about Epstein's case that has never come out is that Epstein was a blackmailer of the worst kind. And this is also a CCP tactic and a Russian tactic. But the MO of this blackmail operation that Epstein was running was not just the rape and torture of children on camera, but also murder. Also in the cult that they are all in, all these bloodline families and bankers and celebrities and all the people that went to Epstein Island, they're into satanic ritual abuse and life force. It's called bloodletting and killing newborns and taping it and framing people. And Ellen Wood is the first person coming out, but certainly not the first to know. I talked about Cappy many times in the past, and many other people in Hollywood that I know, and also other people have talked about for a long time, but the media refuses to cover the truth about the Epstein case. And as I've always said, I've always believed that Epstein did not die at all. And Ellen Wood seems to be saying that, but he's pulling the curtain back on the worst secret that has been kept from most Americans this whole time, which is Epstein Island was a place where they tortured, raped, and murdered children, and then did satanic rituals with their blood and their bodies. And they have it all on tape. And that's not even talking about, as I've mentioned many times, people aren't talking about his ranch in New Mexico, which I believe was a baby making factory that was also doing tons of sickening research that was carried on after Auschwitz in America by Dr. Mengele and his crew that got out with Operation Paperclip. And on top of that, he was funding Epstein and Gates, and a lot of other people were funding pedophilia and mental mind control and MK Ultra and all that horrible monarch mind control experiments to the day he was arrested at MIT and at Harvard and all over, and especially at his ranch. And, the ugliness is coming out, and Ellen Wood's the first to say it out loud, the ugly truth. But everyone should remember the first person who brought up Pizzagate, which is not debunked and is real. The name's stupid. The truth about Comet Pizza and James Alefantis Rothschild is real. And that was General Flynn. So General Flynn they tried to destroy. Breitbart was trying to expose Podesta and Hillary and their involvement in pedophilia and child sex trafficking. He was murdered. And now we have Ellen Wood, who's telling us to pray for him. Oh, and in between, we had Cappy, who came out and exposed everyone in Hollywood that is part of this sick cult that worships Satan and rubs it in our faces. So
There's been so many artists and others that have kind of tried to expose this and either have
yeah,
been fully
Mel
silenced
Gibson.
or right
Yeah, I mean,
or
many people
killed,
have tried. Yeah,
you know.
it's beyond people's comprehension. And now today they're calling Ellen Wood names like they did Sidney Powell. And you know what? These people have been involved in this operation the whole time. Um, as I mentioned to Charlie this morning on the back channel board, there were many drops about this stuff that had an extra L in military, and I'm thinking maybe Ellen Wood has been involved the whole time, and knows about everything because he's coming out and accusing John Roberts and others directly, and he wouldn't do that if he didn't know, and he knows a lot. But also the worst part is that children have been terribly raped, murdered, trafficked, sold through CPS and foster care as well. They end up, what happened in Haiti, I guess will come to the surface, which is horrendous and awful. These submarines, these boats that go to these islands that these people own. I did a whole show on the islands. There's many other people that own islands like Epstein, and all of them have similar things in common. A couple, Nygaard was just arrested. The Bronfman from Nexium, the one sister was arrested. The other one's hiding in France, I hear. But Branson, there's a lot of people that have those islands, and they're not what they seem,
Biden had
especially
an
Haiti.
island,
Yeah,
right?
but also Haiti, when they went in and pillaged the country after the hurricane under the name of saving the country, a lot of children disappeared and were never seen again, and they had parents. And there was a lot about that. We'll do a deep dive into that because the Clinton Foundation is very, very, very involved in this human trafficking, child trafficking ring, and the organ trafficking is the biggest business in China in their concentration camps. It's very scary to hear about the organ harvesting and trafficking, but it's happening all over the world and in America, and it's time to expose it. So pray for Ellen Wood before you think he's crazy or lost his mind. Do your own research. It's out there. Yeah, that's going to be everyone's next burden to handle, which is the exposure of pure evil that has been going on for a very long time. Hugh Hefner was doing similar things to Epstein. Epstein just took it up a notch. And don't forget, Ghislaine Maxwell's father was one of the biggest spies ever and owned a newspaper. So he had extra double power. And then the Hunter laptop is going to include some of the equally disturbing footage of children and torture. So
On the Wiener laptop. And I
right.
think, all of this needs to be exposed. And that's one of the things that we've come to understand is that unless the evil is fully put in the light, that number one, people won't see it. They won't be awake. Because in order to avoid this in the future, in order to really clean house, people need to understand how deep and evil this
Yeah.
We've been infiltrated in such a way that
Yeah, I mean, the hard part, the thing that Ellen Wood did say that is new is when Isaac Cappy died after exposing everything, and it looked like it was tied to Tom Hanks, but we don't know yet. He said in his last thing he taped for public was that he had a dead man switch and that he wasn't suicidal and all that. Well, apparently, whoever had that information, which might be this hacking group, the Lizard Squad, passed it on to Ellen Wood, and he has the encryption key. So if that's the case, that is absolutely huge and terrifying because that means he knows what's on it. Also, there's also the Palm Beach police videotapes that the Dugan, he's a cop, ex-cop, but he's in Russia and he claims to have a bunch of the closed circuit TV camera tapes from Epstein as well. So, yeah, the Epstein case, I've been calling it for weeks. The Epstein boomerang was coming back around. Well, it's coming. So prepare yourself, do your own research, and believe me, as bad as it sounds, it's worse. And it needs to be exposed because, like, the Nazis really never ended. They just came to America and South America, actually, by that with the help of George Bush Sr.'s father and some other people that were partial to the Nazis. These are the same kind of people. They're the same bloodline. They're the same ilk, and they are, if they're not eradicated, they will just go underground and come back out and continue. So hopefully this will be a nice way to start the beginning of the end for them.
Yeah. Another uh, treasure trove of information is Assange. Evidently, he's staying in Britain for safety, huh?
Well, they're not going to extradite him, which is good
Yeah.
news because, as we know, Donald Trump has no control over the DOJ or FBI or CIA. They're all rogue. And the main reason this has happened to Assange is because he knows everything about Hillary Clinton and John Podesta and Seth Rich and all the hacking and lies about Russia. And they didn't want it to be exposed. There's an email from the WikiLeaks documents with Hillary Clinton asking if they can just drone Julian Assange. Brennan and Clapper and Comey hate him because he knows the truth. And he knows the truth about the entire Russia hoax and the murder of Seth Rich. And that's what this has all been about. Hopefully, now that they're not going to extradite him to America, where he would have been thrown to the wolves by the swamp creatures still at the DOJ, now hopefully Trump can pardon him or give him immunity, and he can come tell the truth about Seth Rich's murder and the Russia hoax. God willing.
I saw that
But I
Pelosi
pray for
got,
him and his family because
yeah,
it's been
yeah,
horrible. He's been a just like Flynn. He's been a victim, a true victim of pure evil.
yeah. Well, we pray for all of those who are coming out and speaking the truth and trying to wake people up, but we're still in the reveal. We are still, the swamp creatures are alive and well. They are showing themselves. Obviously, it's so absurd that we must be watching a movie, because you saw that when you saw that house, when they were saying the prayer in the house.
Oh my God. Can you even imagine that
No, I
there's
can't.
people, I don't know where they find these people or how they win or what that particular caucus, like their standards of education are. But that guy, the guy who swore in Congress said amen and a woman. Like amen. First of all, it's totally disrespectful to every Judeo-Christian on the planet to make that about gender. But he also said in his speech that God's known by many different names and many different things. And I mean, it was a very honestly anti-God, anti-Christian swearing in. And when he said amen and a woman, I've really never thought in my head before, like, where do they get these people from? They should have 5150'd him right there into a mental hospital. I mean, and they're all asking us to all blindly go along with this. First, they take out family, mother, father, sister, daughter, all that Pelosi wants out of all legislation going forward. And then this guy decides that amen needs to be a woman. I don't know.
Yeah.
A woman, a woman. I don't even know. There's so many, but it was just so
Well,
embarrassing.
and we've talked about this
Almost as bad
before.
as Jill Biden and cloney Joe Biden trying to put that popper out on New Year's Eve, and it fizzled to the ground, like all of it.
Yeah. I mean, this is all part of their agenda of confusion and and just turning everything upside down, which is, again, their that's the way that they look at the world.
Right.
Everything.
Well, I think that we'll wrap it up for now. It's been a heavy one, and I think we'll come back later with another episode. So I just wanted to say we're going to be in DC on the 6th, and everyone stay super safe that's going. Be aware of your surroundings, and I really feel like at this point we're just playing along until the reveal, because we really can't at this point guess what's coming. But these people aren't going to get away with it for much longer, and I'm ready to continue to fight, and I hope you are. And God won, and it will be revealed. It's just not going to be as easy as we would hope, but nothing good is easy, and the best is truly yet to come. And this week's going to be bombshell after bombshell, so we'll hop on whenever we can. I wanted to thank everyone for following the Mel K show. We're new and we're trying, and every comment makes me smile, and I'm so grateful. I'm just trying to put out info and truth and fact as I find it. And you can find me at Impulsive Woman on Twitter. You can find the Mel K show on both Gab and BitChute, and my old channel still has some good stuff, deep dives in the playlist at Mel K at Manic in Manhattan. And Rob, where are you?
I'm on Twitter, Rob Really Won, and I just wanted to encourage everyone to watch the Trump. I wouldn't necessarily call it a rally, but he's going to be speaking tonight in Georgia,
Right.
and the DC thing is expanding. We have activity on the 5th and the 6th. I saw that there was a 7-mile long car rally train that's coming from California. I think
Right.
this is going to be a massive show of
Yeah,
support.
it is. It is. If the mayor there doesn't close down her Black Lives Matter plaza.
Well, you can't stop, 1 million or more patriots from just peacefully walking through your town and talking truth and love.
Yep. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone, and we'll see you probably later. And hang in there. God won already. It's just the reveal is going to take a while, but at least we're getting to the good stuff, and we're going to start to talk about the truth, because Donald Trump ran for many reasons, but one of the biggest ones was to save the children from this international trafficking ring. That is absolutely true. It is not conspiracy theory. It is heartbreaking, but together we can all get through this, and we can save the children and end this slavery and trafficking nightmare that has been going on under our noses for far too long. So hang in there, and God bless you all. God bless Donald Trump. Prayers for Lynn Wood and his family, and Sydney and Rudy and everyone that's fighting the good fight. And we've lost our government, but we still have each other, and we the people will take back this country. That I am sure of. Okay, goodbye, guys.
Bless you,
Thank you.
patriots. Have a great day.